Yeah, we can go. Hello, hello. Tell us when to go. We're live. Welcome along to the free practice session here in Canada. It's Canadian Day. And guess what? Gary, Gary's not the hedgehog. Gary, the groundhog, is going to be joining us here this evening. He's being excited about here in Canada. He has stepped out of his shadow. There will be 4 more weeks of racing. Apparently, we've heard from this on this fantastic circuit. Tires and brakes will be tested, of course, for the free practice 3 to the max around this 2.7 mile. 3 DRS zones to help the drivers in some overtaking in 14 corners, 6 braking zones. 4 of those will be very, very heavy indeed. The tires generally will be the softest in the Pirelli range. The medium tire about 8 tenths a lap slower. Will they be testing heavy fuel loads, or will they get into the qualifying runs? No doubt. What will happen with the weather conditions? Because it's cold in the city where buildings are connected by over 3 kilometers of underground tunnels. It snows a little bit around here, but not today. Only the rain. Maybe, perhaps. Jam-packed in the Isle of Notre Dame, jam-packed, of course, with the audience because they're excited to be back here. A couple of years we've had now without the Canadian Grand Prix since the old pandemic. But in the commentary box, joining me alongside, once again, will be the Ferral and I and the Biggles. And you guys out there, other legends, joining us for our watch-along racing statistics, bringing this all along for you. Hello, hello, and welcome.
Well, hello there. Yeah, absolutely. The legends in chat. Like, I'm always astonished, like how you can just throw any question out there and they just know it. Sometimes I really wonder why we are commentating it as we have a really all-knowing chat. Also, you kind of talked yourself a little bit in a predicament there as a Haas F1 team just tweeted that it is quali day, but it is wet. So that puts a very different spin on the day, especially considering qualifying later could also run in the wet. We just don't know yet. Weather is very changeable at the moment. And yeah, these conditions will sure shake up the field. So there will be a fair few who are rather happy with the arrival of more rain.
10 degrees in mid-June, exactly as I'm seeing on there. You can see that it's cold. I mean, yeah, Canada gets cold, but not generally at this time of the year. But the weather is going to be the massive play. Absolutely. Thank you. Oh, stop you donating there, King, mate. We love you. You donated so much already to the channel. But I'll tell you what, go ahead.
You have our love bought already, so there is no more need for you to throw money at us. We already appreciate you. We already love you, man. But yeah, the question is quite good. The top 3 predictions. So one of the predictions, obviously, is that Gary the Groundhog will be back. Yeah, I have heard he will join Crafty on the comments, so a little bit jealous there.
Apologies 1 second. I have somebody speaking to me a bit. Of course, there it is. Will Gary the Groundhog be in free practice 3? Get your votes in, of course. Yes, of course, or no. We know Gary. If you guys had joined us for the free practice 2 session the other day, there was a lot of fun. We were talking about porpoising, but now we have a lot new words for that, don't we? We have called it kangarooing. We have pogo sticking. What are the new terms out there that everybody has come up with here at the Racing Statistics YouTube channel?
Yeah. Ooh. Mario coming in with a flat Gary. I sure hope not. I mean, it is a realistic risk to that we have Gary flattened, but I sure hope that won't happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, Gaza. Sorry, in Australia, we call everybody. Guys, at the moment, 7 minutes to go, so we are just babbling on at the moment. Don't worry about it. We will definitely bring you all the entertainment for the free practice session because we don't know what's going on. I did mention the tire compounds, the softest, the medium, about just under half a second a lap slower, the hard tires, of course, but it's 100% race, so they're going to have to balance those cars. I expect, what do you think as well, Ferral, that initially at the start of the session, we might see a lot of heavy fuel loads, and then eventually they'll go into the final runs for what will be prepared for the later qualifying session.
Yeah, it is very hard to tell as we are having a wet track at the moment, at least according to Haas. I haven't seen any pictures of it yet, so I will just trust them there. So probably we will even see some fast running on inters. So the team can gather the data there they need for a possible wet qualifying and also a possible wet race. So yeah, and yeah, good question there from MQDT. I wanted to address that about the penalty of Leclerc. He will apparently get a 10 grid penalty after all, after getting a new turbocharger installed, as he was having trouble with that in free practice 2 yesterday.
You're right, exactly. Because yesterday, yesterday we were mentioning for practice 2 that they said it was okay because the engine units, but they've changed another unit. Of course, they have multiple units. They have the EGU units, the turbochargers, and all the other parts, expensive parts, mind you, on those cars. So they elected to change that, so he will get the grid penalty. So all he can really do at the moment, Charles Leclerc, is just put that thing on pole and then sit back and start the race in P10, if he can, of course. And that might not be too bad if we're looking at wet conditions here in Canada, because everything can just be all turned upside down and flipped upside down if that happens. Welcome along. And once again, we like to do this. It's now a kind of a ritual, isn't it, that we're doing at Race Statistics. While we're waiting for the practice session, we'll give you all the information we can once it starts. You guys out there, if you are from Canada or nearby the track or even in Montreal, please let us know what the weather's looking at. Go outside, look up in the sky and tell us. But yeah, also tell us where you're from in the world. I like to hear that, isn't it? Everybody's all around the planet, aren't
Yeah.
they? Bob's back. Hey, Bob. Good to see you back again, mate.
Yeah, we have a nice prediction there from Hi with Gary P1, Vettel P2, and Alonso P3. I would love to see that.
Yeah, we'll get the predictions up a little bit later, of course, because Gary at the moment. Gary, the groundhog, is our safety car driver this evening. So will the groundhog be driving the safety car around during a free practice? You can have the safety car, of course, in a free practice if that wet conditions do start kicking in. So the safety cars to go out there and try to drive that either Mercedes. Oh, by the way, that's a question. Is it a Mercedes or an Aston Martin for the safety car this weekend? That's another one. I guarantee you these gladiators out here in the chat will know that one, mate, in racing statistics.
Yeah, I think it's the Aston Martin again. So
we have an Aussie out there. Sydney, oi, Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Bolivia, lovely. Ireland, Bangladesh. I do talk too much. My apologies.
It's
I'm
okay.
excited. That's all. I'm excited, guys.
We're here to talk, and as you can hear, my voice is still a little bit on the back foot. So that you are bringing the hype, and I'm just making some stupid jokes about Gary. I can live with that for free practice 3.
We're talking a lot at the moment because there's not a lot of action. Waiting 3 minutes and change to go before the qualifying. So practice session will be on.
Yeah, but it looks rainy. It looks wet, so we will definitely have the inters as it looks like. I guess. Yeah, that weather looks very intermediate. So yeah.
Live pictures are coming in right now that we're seeing and definitely looking like rain conditions. Not spa rain, perhaps, that we saw earlier this year.
No, not by
last year.
far. It's just a light drizzle, but the track is being wet, so it's definitely intermediate. I think we could even see a dry line form.
We do
as
have
it's
Snow Dog out there. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, I do think we will see a dry line within about 10 to 15 minutes into the session, because it's really not a lot of rain. It's
Apparently,
just
drivers hate the wet weather tires. Yeah, well, I mean, most drivers probably hate
Yeah.
the audience members right now are wearing ponchos left, right, and center, so there is some sort of drizzle. It's kind of basically AKA London or United Kingdom weather, I guess, and welcome everybody from the United Kingdom. I know it's very early in the morning, but hey, it happens. In the Americas, it's good for me in this time zone, but you guys have to suffer it sometimes. You get most of the European races. But yeah, in Ottawa, I think it was from one of our members out there in the chat was saying that it's pretty cloudy, but it's clearing up. So yeah, it could be an indication, and it looks very similar, I guess, in the pictures that we're seeing trackside.
Absolutely, but yeah, it is. It has been getting very cold indeed, as I am just seeing here. 11 degrees Celsius is the official statement of the Formula One reports. 16 degrees track temperature, and that is a whole lot colder compared to the temperatures being in the 40s yesterday.
What sort of times are you expecting the free practice yesterday? Verstappen pretty much owned that one by about 2/10 or 3/10, I think, quicker than everybody else. And once again, you guys would be aware of that one. Somebody please share the time that Max Verstappen did in the free practice 2 yesterday, and we can compare that. I don't expect anybody to get anywhere near that for the free practice 3 session today because of the temperatures. And they're just showing pictures at the moment that Charles Leclerc will serve that 10-place grid penalty for a third replacement for, what was it again? Sorry, the turbo unit?
Yes, he got a new turbo installed overnight because he had some issues with that, and he is also on his third power unit already. So we will see. We will most likely see a lot more grid penalties for Leclerc there.
It is drizzling a little bit of rain at the moment on the track, but it's light rain, but it is raining, so it's not completely clear. 114s, give or take.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you very much, guys.
114.127.
Man, they're sharp out there in Racing Statistics channel, aren't they? Thank you very much, guys. You know everything. I love it. There is a bit of a Canadian flag that's on top of Lance Stroll. It's a beautiful maple leaf that's in kind of like a reflective paint that's on top of his helmet. Of course, he's the second of the Canadian drivers on the grid here this evening with Nicholas Latifi that really has to put in a great performance for Williams. Otherwise, he may be in trouble renewing his contract next year. We'll see. And apparently, you guys can't hear me. So I don't know if you can hear me or not. We had the first car coming out on track for the free practice session 3 here this evening, and it's wet. What tires are they on? Can you see? Inters? Yes. Full wets.
The Haas I'm just seeing of Bottas is on a full wet.
Full wets. Wow.
Yes,
That's interesting.
same as Magnussen and Guan Yu Zhou. I can't see that quite yet, but he is on full wet too. So seems like we underestimated the rain a little there.
It could be clearing the water off the track for a while to get a racing line in. And obviously, very, very careful these days, especially as the Haas team. You know, limited budgets that they have in Formula One with the budget cap this season. You don't want to be putting your car into the fence, taking a risk this early. Get out there, put a couple of banker laps in with the full wet tires, and then get a feeling, the feedback to the teams and say, okay, is it ready to go to Inters? If not, but remember, we have an hour of practice session. So, yeah, it's just not risking it for the biscuit too early. Get a feeling in there, clear a racing line, and then see when it's time to go over to the Inters.
Yeah, I'm just having an eye on chat. Apparently, I called it the Haas of Bottas.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. That's
not
how
yet,
you spread
mate.
rumors of driver changes, you know.
Just
it's
to
of
let
course
everybody
the
know,
Alfa
Ferral.
Romeo of Bottas.
Yeah. Can you remind everybody what happened yesterday in the practice session too? Bottas.
I have no idea what happened to him. He just didn't really get a lot of time in. Or
George
was he?
Russell's sitting on the wall right now with his on the pit wall, just chatting to some of the engineers. So he's not even in the car. Ocon's not in the car. A lot of drivers actually aren't in the car. We're just seeing some pictures right there in the pit lane. And yeah, not a lot of people actually lined up, strapped up into their cars. Mick Schumacher's out on track. Both the Hasses are out on track, as you can see. Bottas needs to get some time in, of course, because he had some sort of technical issue. Didn't even get a single lap in during free practice too.
Yeah, and both the Alfa Romeo already back in the pits. So currently we only have the Haas Formula One team out there on track, and it indeed looks very wet. And yeah,
there's a track
like...
map. Track map, sorry guys, we're working on the track map. I apologize about that one. Trust me, Racing Statistics, we got all the goodies there, engineers in the background. are doing their best. We'll get that up quickly. Remember, only 3 minutes and changed into this qualifying session already. Ferraris have gone out, and they've all gone out wet weather tires. Don't expect too much to happen just yet. They're just getting a feel for how wet this track is.
Yeah, it seems like it, but we don't really see very high speeds, but we see an insane amount of spray behind the cars already. So, yeah. Did we get a team radio? Schumacher is saying that the conditions are quite beeped out there.
You're right. Yep, team radio. We'll try to bring you the team radio. I apologize yesterday. I was cutting you over a lot when the team radio was there so we could listen to it and relay it back to you. Exactly. That was Schumacher complaining about. There's a lot of spray right now on the track, guys. It looks pretty, and there's also a picture of Will Buxton down the pit lane. He looks okay. He doesn't have an umbrella or anything, so it's very light rain. But of course, that water has settled on the surface of the racing track, and at the moment, they're just driving around to clear it off as much as possible.
Yeah, I would like to see Binotto's hair again, just so we can estimate the wind we're having.
That's true, isn't it? That's the new weather forecast, isn't it? Binotto's
Absolutely.
his hair, his beautiful curly hair flapping in the wind.
Yeah, but it seems like how the weather is looking. We have like similar looking weather around in Switzerland here, and it basically here it always comes with having absolutely no wind and then just random gusts from all direction at just random times. So this would make it all way more challenging for the drivers as well, as not only the track will be wet, but you will have just randomized wind gusts coming in from everywhere.
And Jose, again, thank you very much. I won't be here for the free practice 3 qualifying. Has a migraine. Oh, I apologize. His wishes us a good time during the race. Don't forget to support the channel. Leave a like. Thank you very much, Jose. You've done a lot, and we will definitely miss you, my friend, during the free practice. And yes, best rest up that beautiful mind of yours, and hopefully you get better with your migraine soon. And tune in for the race tomorrow, my friend, if you're going to miss the free practice and qualifying. Next question I
Yeah.
also have is that this is the difficult situation for the teams and the engineers because this is the last time they're going to get to tweak these cars before the qualifying session when they go Parc Ferme. So
Yeah.
now they're going to be contemplating, what do we do for our downforce? If we're expecting rain tomorrow, do we tweak our car to suit rain conditions, or do we tweak our car for regular dry conditions? That is going to be the most difficult part because this is the practice session they can do it. They cannot do it during the qualifying. This is the last time they can tweak the cars. So that will be the biggest challenge. Obviously they earn the money, right? That's what they get their paychecks for. But that's what they're going to be crunching numbers right now. I would not want to be an engineer in Formula One right now.
Well, I always kind of dream a little bit of furthering my career to become an F1 engineer. And then I see situations like that and just think to myself that no, I'm good. I wouldn't want to make that call. Really not, because it's just you're in so many different climate conditions. You can't really know what's coming and how the weather will behave in, because weather like that, let's say in Silverstone, is completely different to weather like this in Canada now, for example. So making these calls is very, very tricky. So I would say we give it out to the swarm intelligence of our chat here.
It's prediction
And
as well, too, isn't it, mate? Yeah, purple's at the moment for Magsa because it's by the way, you guys are asking, it's not raining at the moment, but it's a very wet track. They're on full wets. They're struggling right now for traction. Those times are just all over the place because a lot of drivers are backing off. They're actually going through runoff areas through some of those S's just to make sure they're not binning the car into the wall.
I mean,
Some of you
the
guys are
current
also
current leaderboard is place P1 and P2, both to the Haas's. Magnussen leads before Schumacher with 1 minute 39.
yeah, we had
While
one
yesterday we
14s,
were
didn't
in
we?
the
Free
1
practice.
minute, 14s, 13s in free practice 1,
And a lot
14s
of
in free practice
cars
2.
Yeah. Clear visor, actually, believe it or not, for a lot of the drivers. So not even tinted visors. Yeah, a lot of drivers at the moment, I'm seeing some of the pictures are just running off into the runoff areas. So a lot of
Yeah.
those chicanes you see turn 9 and 8, 9, and turns also the Wall of Champions as well. They're just cutting straight through there. They're not even going around the corners because they're struggling big time. Team radio.
I didn't quite catch that one.
It's Lance Stroll's on the radio. He's gone through the hairpin, I think, in the final or somewhere. He's going very slow, but he's still back on track. I can't even see his car down the main straight because of the spray. There's a lot of spray and there's a lot of water on the track right now, guys. It's not raining, but the spray is ridiculous. You can tell by the times, as we mentioned, they're doing what?
I mean, the best time currently is a 1 minute 39.148 by Kevin Magnussen. And we only have another time of Tsunoda with a 1 minute 42, Mick Schumacher with a 1 minute 43, and then Vettel and Stroll. And that's about it. 5 drivers putting a time in about 10 minutes after the start of this session. We have seen some Alfa Romeo and some Ferrari out on track, but as far as I'm aware, only 9 driver has been taken to the track yet. So absolutely nothing from there. But yeah, it's fucking great. Both the Haas in the top 3, so I would say we just stop the count now.
They're not pushing at all. They're not pushing at all. They're having a lot of issues. They're trying to just create a racing line, it appears. Like there's a lot of standing water still on the track, which is, as you guys know, it's called aquaplaning. These cars are not designed for it. It's very hard to steer. I'm surprised we didn't see Gary, the groundhog, out there doing a safety car run there to try to clear up the track a little bit, but they've deemed that it's okay at the moment. That's why they're really allowing the drivers out there to go for it and try to get rid of some of that standing water. But yeah, that's what I'm still seeing. And we're just seeing another replay of one of the drivers actually just taking through the escape road. Can't get it turned into the corners and the braking zones. A big issue. A lot of drivers are out of the car right now, mate. They're not even in the garage. You can see a lot of drivers haven't gone out there in the pits. They're not even in the cars at the moment, guys. They're waiting for this weather to clear up.
I mean, it's okay that they're trying to clean a racing line, but they're not even able to stay on the track, and a racing line throughout runoff areas doesn't really make sense. So yeah, we still only have our 5 drivers there putting a time in, and they're all averaging around 143s. So this feels like it will be pretty dreadful.
Lando Norris is the first out there on an outlap for the Williams. Sorry, the Williams. Jeez, what am I going on? McLaren. That's first of the Top Guns, per se, the Top Gun teams. And let's not take it away from the Aston Martins. They did a great performance yesterday in free practice, which once again they need to.
Yeah, and
Vettel's
we have
on track.
Vettel improving there to a 1 minute 41. So it's going somewhere, I guess. But it doesn't, like, there is I have said that we would see a kind of dry racing line within the first 15 minutes. I think I gotta pull back on that one. I mean, you see Vettel oversteering, understeering, all at the same time on a straight. So,
Bob's asking me out there, Austin, Red Bull's third team. How are you picking on me, Bob? I love you. No, Bob, I thought you had a migraine, mate. You're gonna be listening to me. Gonna give you another migraine. The Aston Martins, not the third Red Bull team. Oh, sorry, my apologies. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Bob. Yeah, it's not the third Red Bull team, as far as I'm aware of. We're still seeing spray from the cars. Some of the corners are less spray, of course. Well, they're obviously on lower speed. You can see the track map at the moment. There's not that many drivers out on the track. we're looking at about 3 or 4.
Yeah,
At
we get
least,
5 drivers out on track now, as Ricciardo is also trying to get 1 or 2 bankers in at least. So yeah, it looks like
this is the difficult part, isn't it, mate? Because you want to kind of get some speed up because we don't know if this whole practice session is going to be under this kind of conditions. It will clear up. It should get a little bit faster. But you also want to make sure you get the car out there and not put it into the fence because you've got the qualifying session coming up a couple hours later on. And that's going to give the team a lot of work to do if you do any damage right now. So I think they're just gingerly trying to put as clear the track as much as possible, get some experience in these conditions if it's going to occur during a race tomorrow. That's also great laps and experience. I don't know. They're showing the Ferrari right now in the garage, but no driver in the car that I can see. Tires are off, as you can. A lot of the people
even the
aren't
side
still.
panel is off there, so
Yeah. Could be adjustments too, my friend. Remember, are they predicting rain for? What are you guys thinking about? Is there going to be rain for the race tomorrow? And what do you think your drivers will be? The teams will be doing? Will they be adjusting the downforce more to compensate for that, even with that porpoising effect or the kangarooing effect? I mean, Ferrari is already suffering that big time. Now, if you put more downforce on the car, mate, in the wet weather, will that increase the porpoising or decrease it? How will that pan?
yeah, the thing is, I just have a tweet here from Pirelli Motorsport who reads out to be, nobody really knows that what the conditions for qualifying will be. Could be full wets, inters, or slicks later, or maybe all 3. So it's hard to know how relevant this FP3 session will be. So the teams don't know what weather is coming. Pirelli doesn't know what weather is coming. The FIA doesn't know what weather is coming. So we are basically just in for pure chaos here.
This is what we love. I love wet weather like situations for qualifying or the race because it brings everybody into play. It does. It almost becomes like a Formula 2 race, doesn't it? Like it's not a matter of pure car performance. It becomes
Yeah.
a matter of strategy and concentration, handling. It's a lot of fun. Do you guys agree out there? Do you love wet races? Do you like changeable conditions?
What I like currently is Vettel in P1. What I don't like is Schumacher in P6. I mean, Schumacher in P6 is great, but there's only 6 drivers who put in a time, and then having Mick Schumacher on the last position again. That's sad.
Space was saying they'll soften up. And this is the thing, too. You are an actual engineer and you know racing cars yourself as an engineer. Space was saying they'll soften up the setup for wet weather, which means they won't run as much downforce. Is that what you find? What would you do as an engineer? Like soft springs, hard springs, ride height? What do you do?
Um, that is hard to tell, as the cars I'm working on are not as downforce intensive as this one is. But basically, for rain, you want to raise the car a little, but not too much. As in Formula One, the full wet tires have let me think. I think 1 centimeter more in radius. So putting on a full wet will raise the car automatically already. So you don't want to go too much. Now the question, if you want to go for more or less downforce, that is still dependent on the driving style of your specific driver, and it is also very dependent on the track and on how much water you have and if you expect the water to stay or not.
You're right. And at the moment, it looks like Sebastian Vettel might top the timesheets in the moment because he's setting a couple of split purples in the second sector and first sector. The track is green flag again. I think there was a brief yellow. However, yeah, the times will definitely tumble, guys, because it's not raining and they're just clearing the spray. And there's a lot of spray. There's still a lot of standing water on this surface of this track at the moment. That's hence the reason why they're on full wets. But the times will definitely tumble. I expect maybe Vettel to top this, their timesheets and take the Alpha Tauri. A little of a twitchy moment there from Perez. It's gone out as he's trying to get used to these conditions. we'll see in a second as Vettel should cross the line there and get into the 137s, maybe 136s, seeing how clear this track is starting to get. No, he's gone straight in the pit lane. Wow, he didn't even commit to that. Oh, he did actually. No, he went straight to the pit lane. My apologies. Did not commit to that lap.
But here on board with Perez, we can see that the track is not having a dry line, but on the racing line, it looks almost like Inter's already.
How's this out there? Curry? Thank you very much. This is what I love, man. Everybody in Racing Statistics channel, thank you very much for tuning in, knows their information. He says Rosberg said a 1 millimeter increase in ride height slows the car by 0.3 of a second a lap. Wow, I've heard that before, but that sounds spot on, especially if Rosberg tells you that, a previous world champion. Thank you very much for that. Mate, yeah, we have that. We have all the F1 engineers in this chat right now. So guess what? Formula One, look out. Racing Statistics is here in town to provide you with that. We've lost 10 minutes of the qualifying session at the moment as drivers are abandoning their laps and heading in there. I think drivers have gone out. The Red Bull driver, Perez, came out there for a lap. Boxed
not
immediately.
setting a time, though.
Yeah. Says it's probably too wet or not wanting to bother risking it at the moment. Once again, the biggest downfall with it, especially with the budget cap this year, guys, as you're aware, they can't afford to damage the cars too much. It's an expense. They have to. A lot of teams are complaining right now, saying
wait, I
can't
got
do the
team radio of Sergio Perez here. So yeah, he was just told by his engineer to take it easy there. So seems like not even the engineer wanted him to finish that lap.
That's what I was saying. Because of the budget caps with teams like Haas and stuff, unfortunately, they've suffered a few crashes already this season. They are complaining that they won't have enough money in the budget cap to be able to fix the cars and spend the money on the cars to finish. They're saying they're going to have to skip the last couple of races. FIA is obviously, as Bottas goes top of the timesheets, and that's going to be good for him. Lance Stroll could be even quicker here now.
Yeah, he got a purple Sector 1, personal best in Sector 2, and is now... Yeah, he is on the straight to the start-finish line, but you can't really see it within the spray. He is still 2.5 tenths off there, but placing his Aston Martin into P2, so it seems like the track conditions are improving.
A 137, but what were we looking at? We're looking at a replay right now. The AlphaTauri, I think, is a little bit of a lock-up. Yeah, lock-up in turn 1. Has to go through the escape road. Sonoda.
Yeah, Yuki seems to have this issue quite a lot. Hearing him complain on the team radio there.
He says front left lock-up into turn 1 or 2 or whatever. Front left lock-up. I saw that.
But generally he complains that the front left is way too easy to lock up. So, yeah.
Yeah, update right now for everybody that's just joined, and thank you very much if you have joined, or 3,500 of you joining. Gary, the Hedgehog, Gary the Groundhog, my apologies, is happy you've joined the Canadian Grand Prix. He was out on the track earlier, free practice 1, I think he was, and Gary's hanging down there in the pit lane, just keeping an eye out on all the drivers. A lot of them are sitting out in the pit lane. Guys, so it's not raining. It's cold in June. However, there's a lot of standing water on the track, so everybody's on full wets. The drivers that are out on track or have been out on track, trying to clear a lot of that standing water, and those times are definitely not going to be respective of what they could do once it continues to clear the water. There you go. And thank you very much for tuning in. We love you out there. Give us all the statistics for Racing Statistics.
Yeah, can we maybe get a poll up on what do you prefer? Like wet races, dry races? I would be curious about that, because I think most people would enjoy wet races over dry ones.
Changeable conditions, I guess. Now, did you see pictures? Did you see the pictures there before? I think of Carlos Sainz. It was porpoising a little bit, or kangarooing. Down the main straight. Not as bad as what it was during free practice yesterday, if you joined in to us for that. but it's still showing it. And as you guys had mentioned there, in the ride height as well, too, if they do lift it a little bit, it should decrease the porpoising, which it has. However, it'll make the car slower. But who knows? Is it birthday for Carlos Sainz, I think? I'm not quite sure if it is his birthday or not. But Carlos Sainz is out on track at the moment, so we'll get an indication of what the Ferrari pace will be, as well as Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, now after Sector 1, he is half a second clear of Bottas' best time, so seems like they will be showing some strong pace here.
Yeah, Lewis did complain about the car being undrivable yesterday. But at the moment, we're going to see the Ferraris because Carlos Sainz out first. Purple Sector 1. Charles Leclerc's on an outlap. This is the first indication of the, let's say, you know, the Ferrari, aka Red Bull battle at the top of the timesheets. We haven't seen it yet. He's half a second quicker than the provisional time of Bottas. And that's in the middle sector alone, as the poll's up at the moment. Therefore, if you pay attention, which one is correct? Thank you very much. But I guarantee if you're paying attention right now, there will be a Ferrari on the provisional top time. And if Carlos commits to the lap, which I think he might.
Yeah,
Final
probably.
corners.
Supermax, thanks for those 5 Australian dollaroos.
That's Australian bucks, my friend. Yep. Vegemite on a sandwich for you. Carlos Sainz, top of the time sheet, 136 is a lap faster as the track does definitely improve. Carlos Sainz setting a statement here. And yeah, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Thank you very much for the $5, mate.
Yeah, so we are about 25 minutes into the session. We still do not have a dry line, so it seems like, yeah, we are just being shown the weather radar. There is just one giant cell of rain, like directly above the track. So,
Are you sure it's
also,
not Panama where I am at the moment, mate? Because that's the rain conditions are all the time here at the moment. I'm about to have similar conditions as well. But yeah, where you guys are in the world, of course. Here's another one. Is it raining where you are in the world? That rather than where you are in the world, because we went through that at the top of the show. Is it raining where you are in the world right now? Yeah, yay or nay would be interesting, as we're going to see if Charles Leclerc can get a good time.
I will be back in about 10 seconds. I'm just going to go over to the window and have a look at the weather conditions here.
Carlos Sainz going even quicker again for his second lap. This will be even quicker. I had to say Carlos Sainz may very well be in the low 136s. Porpoising is not as bad now. Down the casino straight into the final couple of corners. He's going to bounce off those chicanes, keep it out of the wall of champions. Does a little bit of a power slide. Loud pedal as loud as possibly can. Up at the timesheets. What will Carlos Sainz time be? It's a 136 point. I can't quite see it at the moment because it's really small.
0.8.
8. There you go. Thank
So
you.
I have had a look outside. The street is wet, but I also do have sunshine. So yeah,
So is it wet or not?
over half our viewers know about Gary the Groundhog.
Yes.
Another 24% believe you with Gary the Hedgehog. But that would be Henry the Hedgehog, I think.
But if you guys actually pay attention there, see next to the Canadian Grand Prix graphic, that is Gary right there holding the Canadian flag. What's he got in his left hand, actually? Well, stage left. I'm seeing it from up in the casting box. Stage left. He's got something in his hand. What does Gary have in his hand? He's got a hat on, too.
Mary the Marmot, also a good one.
Yeah, no spoiler alert for the NBA. Oh, sorry, guys. A little late on that one. Day late and a dollar short. I'm not even going to tell you guys. So the finals of the NBA are over. We're here in Canada. It is just a recap again. We are 32 minutes and change left in the qualifying session out of an hour. It's a wet track. It's still looking very, very wet. All the drivers are on wet tires. A lot of drivers have not gone out yet, as you can see on the timing table.
Yeah, we have
But
only
the
10
track is
drivers setting a
improving.
time so far.
But it's not raining. That's the key. It's not raining at the moment. It is just still wet and very wet. Alonso's out now. Let's see Alonso master. Now, this Spaniard's been around the block a few times, my friend. Won a couple of championships and can handle these conditions no problemo. I would expect Alonso to put a good lap in here.
Yeah, no. Sector 1, he already lost more than a second to compared to Sainz in Sector 1, so not unfortunately, that's not gonna be very impressive there.
Yeah, but remember, he's just come out on the track, so he hasn't done any kind of warm up rehearsal laps. So this is kind of his banker in there, get a feel for the track. He's 1.5 seconds down at the moment, but this is not a lap that what he will do at the moment will be just say basically turning off the ERS. That's the only thing available to him, remember, during a practice session. They're not going to have the DRS. It's not available. He'll just save his battery and he'll get ready to put another banker lap in and see what sort of time he can perform. Bit of porpoising, of course, for the Alpine, but nowhere near. He's down the Casino Straight. I keep saying Casio. My apologies. It's not Japan. He's going to get ready for another lap. Now, this is a lap, I think, where Alonso does shine. So we'll have a look right now. He's going to start the next lap.
Yeah, this was not a banker. He was not an outlap. It apparently was just a banker, but we will see if he tries again or gets into back into the pits as he put it in P6 there.
Well, he turned off his ERS energy, mate. So I realized he after made a little error, I think in one of the earlier turns, he just I think turn 6 and 7 he backed off. That's what they can do. The drivers can turn their ERS off and then turn it back on again. And then
they can set on how much recover or how much of that hybrid system they want to use to boost their little horsey powers there.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? 2022, we're still measuring things by horses.
Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time you pulled a Formula 1 car around a horse? As we're seeing Esteban Ocon going, oh, yeah, turn 1, couldn't brake in time, has to go straight through.
Yeah, and we are still missing times there of Leclerc, Hamilton, Perez, Latifi, Verstappen, and Russell. They haven't put in anything yet.
Alonso's improving. Let's keep an eye on it. I think if somebody's pulled that one out there, purple for Alonso. Yeah, see, mate, I'll tell you, this sharp out there in racing statistics, Latifi's out on track, but Alonso could be very much up around where Carlos Sainz is. Maybe he'll split Carlos and Bottas. Let's find out in a second. Where's Alonso?
Yeah, where is he?
P2. I told you. I called it. I'm sorry. I cast too much. Yeah. He called it. He split him. Man, I should be a bookie for Formula 1, shouldn't I? Because I could predict this stuff tooth and nail. Anyway, mind you, don't bet. Don't bet. If you're going to bet something, it doesn't cost you any money. Bet. Anyway, let's not talk about that. Carlos Sainz is on track. Alonso's on track. They just set the split in between Bottas. And that was actually very impressive for Bottas at the moment too, guys. Remember, he did not partake in, apart from just 2 laps before he went into the pit lane in free practice 2. So now he's had to come out in wet weather conditions and put that car up in a P3 early when there was a lot more water on the track, which is damn impressive, I would have to say.
So yeah, there with Albon, not a lot happening. I mean, he is improving on his personal best times, but not really anything impressive there.
Is it raining now is the question. I don't see rain. Can you see rain at all?
It is hard to tell. On some cameras, you have some droplets on the lenses, but it is always hard to tell if that is from rain or if it is just from the spray of the passing cars. Looking at the track and how it's just not getting any drier, I would say there is rain. But
yeah, you mentioned it.
Very slight drizzling, as we don't really see any drops falling onto the track. So
no, you're right. I think there is rain. I think you're right, absolutely right to measure it. I think if that's your name, my apologies. I'm the biggest butcher of names, but Yeah, there's a lot of spray, and I'll tell you what, they've been going around this track now for about 30 minutes. Right, Team Radio?
Seems to be too sketchy for Albon out there.
Yeah, it's sketchy. Just to give you an indication, guys, to put a picture to the words, the track is very, very a lot wet. Put it that way. The track is wet. There's puddles a lot on a lot of the circuit. There's a lot of lockups occurring from drivers. They're going through a lot of the escape areas in those S turns, 6 and 7 they're struggling with. 13, 14 they're struggling with on the track map. 1 and 2. Anything where you have to swing left and right through the S's, they're struggling with. They're taking the runoff areas. And you can see the track map is not even busy. You still have Leclerc. You have has not set a time. Hamilton's not set a time. Perez not set. Verstappen's not even been on a track yet. Can you believe that?
He's on his outlap right now. This seems to be a racing statistics curse. Whenever I say like, oh yeah, Perez hasn't been out on track yet, I look to the map, see Perez is out there. Right then, right when I say he's not been out on track, you see him coming out of the pit lane. Now you calling Verstappen not have set a time or being out there exactly at the time where he comes out pit lane. So
you guys called it, and we're actually watching at the moment. It looks like George Russell's out. Now George Russell did a fantastic performance there in free practice 2 yesterday, massively outqualified Hamilton. Hamilton did have issues. The front wing he was delayed, so guys out there, be very kind. I know everybody was like trying to wash up. We're not going to talk about that, of course. You don't have a 7-time world champion being. Russell's just somehow handling this car a little bit better at the moment, but at the moment these conditions are very tricky. Alex is looking like he's pretty pacey as well too for the Williams. He's up P10 and putting some pretty good flying times in. Verstappen's out on track on an outlap. George Russell, let's see what his first time will be here. Really competitive time. And he goes up in a P12.
4 seconds off, so putting it in P12 with that time. I guess he will try again.
Yeah, they'll be fueled for a few laps. And that's the good thing about those wet weather tires is they're durable, mate. They can go forever and ever and ever and ever. Talk to Alex Albon. He can take hard tires at the end of the race if you really want. Or is that too soon? Max Verstappen's out on track. This is going to be the key because Super Max, was super fast during free practice 2, but we haven't. He's actually run a little bit wide.
Turn 2, big swerve. That's not going to be like if he puts that back anywhere into the top 5. I'm going to be really impressed.
Gasly's impressive, my friend. And this is the problem for Gasly, of course, because he wants a Red Bull drive. But then, Carl, you had Perez has been re-signed. You got the golden boy Max Verstappen, so he's got nowhere to go in the Red Bull major, the team, the key team. It's going to be difficult. But Gasly's has been on fire. He's P3 at the moment. He's improving. Verstappen's on a lap. Verstappen's struggling massively at the moment, guys, in the pictures that I can see, even though he's improving. Yeah. Well, anyway.
I mean, of course, he sets a personal best sector 1 as he hasn't set any sector times yet, but he is 3.2 seconds off the pace at the moment, so he will be coming in probably somewhere around Magnussen.
George Russell goes to P9. Yeah, no, that's 3 seconds off the pace exactly. It's not going to be very good. It's the first lap. It's a field lap. Hamilton's not too bad at the moment. He's improving his personal best, P13. Keep an eye on his lap times, as well as the other Aston Martin driver. Aston Martin. I mean, well, geez, that pit lane looks pretty damn wet in the pictures right now, guys. There's a lot of standing water still on this track. The rain is actually drizzling down. Not pouring, but drizzling.
Yeah, but seems like Verstappen abandoned that lap, going directly back into the pits. So still no set time by the Red Bull team. Also not by Leclerc of Ferrari.
Now, a question for you guys out there in the chat. There should be one for a poll. Do you sacrifice at the moment? It's going to look like it will be a wet-ish, per se, qualifying session. Do the teams set the cars up for a better qualifying performance with wet conditions, not knowing if it's going to be dry or wet for the race tomorrow, what would you do? And what do you think the teams will do? That's a poll. So do you sacrifice race pace for wet qualifying or dry pace for a perhaps dry? And the question's even confusing me.
Yeah, so maybe not too good for a poll. But I would say you risk it.
In qualifying, it's very important, obviously, in Canada, but in changeable conditions, it's so difficult. I don't know what you would do. Do you want to get your car on pole with a wet setup? Because a wetish setup will probably get your car on pole, but if it's a dry race tomorrow, you get murdered down Casino Straight with the higher downforce. It's so difficult.
Well, you can always defend, and if you have a good downforce setup and can make time good through sectors 1 and 2, it doesn't really matter if they catch up to you on the straight, as long as you can stay ahead and as long as you can defend. So I would say you go for a partial wet setup.
Grash just said Horner said he was interviewed and said I didn't interview Christian Horner, but there you go. Maybe the other Comet casters are actually asking the same questions I am. Yeah, I actually would go for a mid. I would actually agree. In esports that I cast, if I was to say that, I would probably go for the middle. I mean, you can't go wrong in the middle, can you?
Well, it's
Vettel, top of the timesheets, bang!
Nice.
Wow.
Looks like the track is getting better. I mean, there is less spray now, so...
And Vettel's going even quicker again through the next lap, so he's loving these conditions. Of course, the three-time world champion German driver has been around the block a few times in the Aston Martin. Well, the British team is well used to United Kingdom weather. Should suit them a little bit better. It's absolutely fantastic. Guys, you must agree, right? To see Aston Martin starting to put some really good performance in now, because they didn't have a very good start to the season, but there it is. You called it, didn't you, King? But here comes Sebastian Vettel. And I tell you what, he's still improving. Green means go. Lance Stroll is improving as well. Aston Martin territory right now here in Canada. Let's have a look. I expect both of them. Let's draw up at the P5. What about Vettel? Vettel's gone even quicker. He's shaved out 4 tenths. 4 tenths.
Wow,
and he has wow, this is great. Let's have a look. Vettel's got second and third, fastest sector.
Out of the turn 10 hairpin, but he still looks strong there.
Now, Vettel is a champion. So conquer the wall of champion final corners, which will be at 13 and 14. And Vettel's been through here a few times around the block. He's got flying through there at the moment. This is top of the timesheets. This is going to be a 35 flat, maybe.
Not 46, but 36. But it's good. It's impressive.
Wow. Yeah. Where did he make a mistake?
400 faster than Sainz, which, well, I guess we will see the cars pouring out now with an Aston Martin being there.
It's good for this is actually really good. This is showing you right now, I'd have to say, the performance of the Mercedes with the porpoising effect or the kangarooing effect that they're having. Russell's P5, Hamilton's P8, because they're not bouncing around so much. Now, the major thing is at the moment is Charles Leclerc is still sitting in the pit lane and has not set a time. Max Verstappen has not set a time. Sergio Perez has not set a time. They've abandoned their laps. What is going on in the Red Bull garage and the Ferrari?
Well, I mean, it is just free practice. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah, my friend. But 17 minutes ago, you got to remember, this is like the last practice session you're going to have before the qualifying. So any laps you can get in. Michael Schumacher set a purple in the middle sector, maybe. Alonso's flying around the track. Sorry to cut you off there, because it's all happening right now, as you expect.
Okay. I mean, Alonso's out on Inters, so.
Oh wow! It's the first gamble on the Inters. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on those. Yeah, Lance Stroll's going a little bit quicker there. I'm actually curious to see Michael Schumacher. Sorry, Michael Schumacher. I keep forgetting. Mick Schumacher. Sorry, his son is looking pretty impressive. And I really do hope Mick Schumacher gets a good lap in here because he hasn't been having the best of. Yeah, it's Mike. Sorry, Bob. You know who I'm talking about. But anyway,
It's Mick.
Mick. Either way, if you have a Schumacher name next to your in the timesheets, that means good. Let's have a. I'm just curious to see what Mick Schumacher's time will be if you can get him improved a little bit.
Doesn't look like he improved. Absolutely not. He made some personal bests throughout sectors 1 and 2, but not really anything apart from that.
The inter times, that's the key. What
Yeah.
are the inter times? Alonso's on the inters. Not a very no, first and second sector. It's probably not inter territory yet. What do you think? He's not improved.
I think he will give it another go, another lap there. I mean, he's not looking too unstable or too twitchy or anything, so it might be time for inters.
First sector
So,
will be the key. He's crossed the line, so that lap
yeah.
is done and dusted. But this will be the key now. Going
There
through
we
sector,
go.
you're going through 1 and 2 on the track map. You can look at little Alonso. There he is. This will be the key. Going to 3 and 4, we'll see his pace through there. Now, first sector is going to be the indication. Is it going to be inter territory? Alonso is a man that can show you is a world champion. He knows. What will that
really
sector time
like
be?
it. Doesn't seem to have been able to improve on his sector 1 time, but looking strong in sector 2. The first 2 mini sectors were personal best. The third one was a best overall.
No, Alonso's gone. Yeah, sector 2, he's improving. Alonso's
Yeah.
improving in sector 2. This could be the fastest sector 2 time of the session. It's iffy. It's on the cusp. Magnussen has now improved on the first sector, but we'll keep an eye on Alonso. We don't have pictures of Alonso at the moment, unfortunately, to show you, but we can see that telemetry. You can see it. There it is. Look at that. Bang. Purple sector.
So we have a personal best sector 1, best overall purple sector 2, and sector 3 is looking strong as well, as he is already having 2 fastest overall mini sectors in there. So
there it
that's
is,
not looking
Alonso,
too
second
bad.
2, got up the screens. Guys, thank you very much. And who did that donation real quick there? Sorry, I had to scroll through that for a second. Thank you very much for that. Alonso should be the top of the timesheets, absolutely sure. Science is struggling with the Ferrari right now. Magnussen, Alonso, there it is,
goes
bang!
fastest overall.
Inter-territory, guys.
1:34.
Inter-territory right now. Expect everybody
Yep.
to jump in the pits and change those tires.
Well, we already have Vettel out there on inters as well. Looking like Science there is giving it a go on the inter. So yeah,
14 minutes left for the qualifying session. The practice session. This is the last practice session you're going to have. We don't know how much of this rain is going to be lurking. Is the rain going to continue to drizzle down? Is the rain going to get worse? Is the track going to dry up? Either way, teams are crunching numbers tooth and nail right now, earning their paychecks. Alonso's going even faster again on the next lap. He set the fastest sector again.
absolutely.
Inters are the territory and the tire you need to be on right now. Are we going to see Verstappen finally coming out of the pit lane? We still have Charles Leclerc and Perez in the box right now. We have a ton of drivers in the box. Now the engineers are working out.
Yeah.
Alonso goes a second quicker.
Yeah,
A second quicker in the
purple.
middle sector.
So we got a purple 1, we got a purple 2 on Alonso. So now give it to us in sector 3. Hit it. Come on.
Oh, he's going to hit it, my friend. The Spaniard is going to show everybody that, hey, I may be a little bit old, but I'm still the fastest man in Canada in Gilles Villeneuve track. He's going to set the statement right now. Lay the gauntlet down to the rest of the gladiators and say, Fernando Alonso is back in
Absolutely not.
town.
He did not go an all purple. It wasn't even his personal best sector 3, but
And
it
Lance
was.
Stroll, the Canadian, comes at P2. As we're watching watching Carlos Sainz, twitchy. Big time twitchy for the Ferrari.
Yeah, but Stroll came into P2 on a full wet still, so interesting.
Apologies for calling Fernando Alonso old. Well, he is actually, of course, in the competitive grid, but trust me, that man is not old when it comes to driving a Formula 1 car around a track. Thank you much for tuning in, everybody. Welcome along to the free practice session. This is exciting for the watch along. I appreciate you guys out there who read as much of the chat as we possibly can.
Yeah,
It's
after like
heating up.
45 minutes of nothing, we see the fastest sectors 1, 2, and 3 all belong to Alonso now, but they were set up in different laps.
I apologize. My ridiculous screaming is unbearable. I'm just excited. I'm actually an esports caster, so I watch along's a little bit different. I just get just me. David Croft screams a little bit. You don't remember Mario Walker used to scream a lot. It's just the way I cast. I apologize.
Yeah,
if it's
and
a little annoying,
Verstappen
but
has been getting another try out there on track, but again, not finishing his lap, diving directly back into the pits. Team radio or something would be nice to hear there, to see if they are having an issue.
yeah, I haven't had any team radio actually at the moment. They're just looking at some of the casters there of Sam Collins, Jolan Palmer, and Tom. But I think it's better if you can hear us, mate, you and me. If we are a little screaming or not, but that's because we're excited. Because the times are tumbling a little bit. Max Verstappen is struggling, my friend. Absolutely struggling right now in the Red Bull.
Wonder why, but this is a lot of oversteer there.
Do you guys think this is one? Do you guys think, and you can see Perez and Verstappen, 19 and 20 of yet to set a time. Do you think they're gambling? Vettel's going fast in the middle sector again. Vettel might actually top the timesheets even more. Damn! Aston Martin. I'm not going to scream. But there it is. Aston Martin 1 and 3. Vettel is sending everybody back to driving school.
Headphone users in chat there. But also, now interesting, Perez being on an outlap. So it looks like they're just sending out.
It's Inters, mate. Look at that. Inter 1 and 2 and 3 for Carlos. Lance Stroll, I have to say, on the wet tires was impressive. Charles Leclerc's not even in the car. He's got his hoodie on and talking to his engineers. He hasn't even set a time. And I tell you what, 9 minutes, just under 10 minutes to go in this qualifying session. He's not even geared up in the car, as we're looking at a replay right now of Gasly going into turn 1 and turn 2. Does he lock up? Yes, goes straight through.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Sebastian Vettel, mate. He's sending everybody back to racing. He's sending everybody back to driving school going, guys, remember back when I was a 3-time world champion? This is how you drive in the wet around Canada. Alonso going even quicker again through the first sector. I don't think Alonso's happy that Sebastian Vettel's topped these timesheets here.
Probably, yeah. Perez is coming down the start-finish straight. Will he dive back into the pits, or will we actually see a lap by the Red Bulls?
One thing we're not seeing is Ferrari
are going to see a lap by the Red Bulls, I guess.
They're sitting in there at the moment. I don't know. Have they just basically said, screw it. We're just going to focus on the qualifying session. I don't know if that's a good decision or not, but I tell you what, Aston Martins have made a great decision. Vettel in P1, Stroll in P2, Vettel going quick, Alonso going quick, Stroll going quick. Carlos is the only real main contender in this championship at the moment, isn't it? That's and Gasly goes up at a P3. Wow.
And Sainz taking that P3 instantly, putting Gasly down on 4th. So, and Verstappen back out as well. Perez seemingly stuck behind Latifi there. So, all right, so Perez, they're getting past Latifi, trying to set a representative time.
Alonso! Bang!
Another
goes even quicker again. Ricciardo up in the P4. That's the honey badger's done it. You got to remember, Daniel Ricciardo, Norris's P15 on an outlap. The times are tumbling tooth and nail like a Bitcoin exchange. No offense, of course, to the Bitcoin exchange, but that's it. The track is obviously getting better. It doesn't look like there's rain. A lot of standing water still. There's spray, but not as bad. And you can see at the moment, we're looking at the team boss of the McLaren. Whether or not he would give a big bear hug there, but Lando Norris out there at the moment has probably got the team radio, and he's got his engineer in his ear saying, Dan Richter's got P5. What can you do, Mr. Lando? It's Sunday, it's Monday, it's Friday. Is it Friday? Is it Sunday? I'm sure Lando will be singing something in his car right now. What do you guys think?
Oof, not looking good there. Very nervous. Kind of losing the rear when getting onto the power, so I don't think we'll see too good of a time by him. And well, Paris only setting a 1 minute 40 so far, but giving it another go. Steaming up on Hamilton there
Yellow flag.
in sector 1.
Oh,
Looks
it's a
like
Haas into the...
Magnussen.
Yeah, Kevin Magnussen is in the fence, guys. Check the track map out. Where is he?
Turn 2.
Turn 2.
But
Yep.
no damage to the car. He is
He's
trying to
reversing.
get out. Yeah, he's reversing.
Now he can't. He's got to
Ooh,
wait. There's a
no,
couple of
don't,
traffic coming around.
don't. Stay there. Stay there.
Ooh.
All right, now you can. No, maybe
No, he
not.
can't. McLaren coming around. We're looking at helicopter camera as he's trying to reverse up there. His team is, his engineers will be on the radio going, yeah, okay, go, 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 go. Can he turn? Can he get it into first gear? He has no damage to the car. A Red Bull just went past. He's in the racing line, in the middle of first sector. Yep, he's back on track, guys, and he's resumed. So that will definitely be something a lot of the other team engineers will be complaining about at the moment, saying they inhibited.
We are
his
getting
lap.
the first representative time of the Red Bulls in a few seconds.
Yeah, both the Red Bulls are up.
Over the line now, and putting it in 17th only. That's not looking too good.
Honestly, guys, do you think that we're just watching a replay right now? What happened to Kevin Magnussen? He went straight on, and definitely straight on. Could even turn it to the right. Anyway, he didn't damage the car and had to back up. That will definitely be something under investigation, I would say. Leclerc's on track. Leclerc's in the pit. Sorry, my apologies. Verstappen's not doing the best of laps. Perez, Red Bulls. Look at this. Am I just P17 for Verstappen?
Yeah. It looks like they are still just getting tire performance in there. I mean, it wasn't the outlap, but it looks like it was just banker laps or something, as I would definitely expect more from them than being down there with the Williams.
4 minutes to go. 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes and a half. Verstappen is struggling. Absolutely struggling.
Yeah,
now, this is the man that just annihilated the free practice section 2 yesterday. Supermax. It's not Supermax right now in the wet conditions. Well. Perez. Let's have a look at Perez's time. That'll be the indication of what the Red Bulls can do here.
Yeah, he is further improving on his personal best times as he is coming to the wall of champions there. There we go. Start, finish straight. Now, what will we see? Hamilton, 4 seconds off the pace there, staying in P11, and...
Oh, it's 5 seconds off the pace.
Yeah.
Ocon goes to P8. What has happened to Red Bull? Red Bull, and I want to ask you guys out there, because you guys are fantastic. You know you love your F1. You know your statistics. Are Red Bull gambling on a dry setup? They're just skipping the whole, perhaps, wet weather qualifying session. We know it's a free practice, wet weather. Are they just skipping this and saying, we're going completely dry setup? But with the qualifying coming up in a couple of hours from now, how much you get to eat? You know, that's the last time you can tweak your car. After that's Parc Ferme, Team Radio.
Still Team Radio?
Yeah, mate. Oh, it's off. It's off. There's Max off. Max is off. He hasn't damaged it, but he's off somewhere on the track. It's a yellow flag.
Yeah, no, it's exact same situation as we had with Magnussen just before.
This is dangerous territory for Red Bull. I don't know what's going on. They're on the inters. Some of the drivers are still believing on wets. What's going to happen? This doesn't look like this. There's still
King
drizzle
Chu's
coming down.
in with another 25 euros there.
Wow. Thank you very much there, King. What do you think, King? I want to ask you that question. King gets all the priority time right now for the donation as Max Verstappen oversteers in the corner. King, what do you think Red Bull are doing? What's happening with Red Bull right now? They can't get any good wet weather times in. King, what are they going to do for qualifying?
Yeah, now Verstappen actually didn't go off the same way as Magnussen, just in the same position. He actually had a little spin there out of turn 1. So I know positions in FP.
Can I phone a friend? Yeah,
what?
Can I phone a friend? It's a phone a friend talk show. I mean, you might not have that in Switzerland, my friend, but I get that one. I think you're right. Oh, King, what do you think? King's like, yeah, I'm as well. King, what do you think? I don't know. We're down to 1 minute and change to go, and we have a bunch of drivers on track, but nobody actually. Ocon setting a couple purples in sector 2. Perez is out on track, but I'll tell you what, regardless, I don't think it's looking too good there for the Red Bulls unless they're on a different strategy we don't know about. Everyone's asking what happened to Max. We don't know. We do not know.
Yeah, it just seems like the setup is way off. Same for Leclerc, as he hasn't. Has he even been out on track? I can't recall seeing him. He sure hasn't put in a time.
Leclerc hasn't put a time in.
Yeah,
Ocon goes right up into P3. To remind everybody that the junior Red Bull team is perhaps the major
reminding everyone of El Plan.
Yeah. It's raining, guys. It's drizzling. The track is still very wet. This is going to be qualifying, and Leclerc not setting a time. Tiffy, Verstappen, as we all go in question mark, question mark, question mark. We don't know what's happening. Verstappen, Ricciardo is out on track at the moment, currently running in P8. And Bottas goes up at a P7. Ocon flying P3, Frenchman.
Yeah, there we go. Checkered flag. So last times to be banked.
Ricciardo P3. Sorry.
Yeah, Ricciardo.
I have to cut you off, mate, because I'm an Australian. The honey badger. Yay, yay, yay. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Sorry to cut you off. It's okay.
Norris having it in P5 there. Verstappen coming up onto the line. Still a second off, only putting it in P7.
Oh, Verstappen got P7. So you guys are asking where he was. There he is. P7. That's not bad considering he didn't do too many laps at all. How many laps did Verstappen do? What, 2, 3, 4? Not even that. Ocon gone quicker. Ocon could be the top of the timesheets here. The Frenchman throwing that Alpine around here. Get across the line. He's going to be top there. He has to be top in a second. Let's have a look at this. Ocon. Oh, P3.
Yeah,
good
and
effort
Perez outpacing Verstappen there, taking his P7. So yeah, we still have
now have a look at this. Ferral, have a look at this.
Up.
When's the last time you've seen a practice session when you have Fernando Alonso, Alpine, P1, AlphaTauri, P2, Aston Martin, P3, Alpine, P4, and then McLaren, and then a Mercedes, P7. And guess where both the Red Bulls were finished up? 8 and 9. Where are the Ferraris? Well, P10, Carlos, and Charles Leclerc didn't even set a time. How's that for a practice session, guys?
Well, don't see that too often, apparently. So yeah, but I don't know. Kinda hard to tell. I mean, the Red Bulls weren't getting out of the pits until the last 15 minutes there. Yeah. No, it's very confusing result. but I don't think this is representative in any way for what we will be seeing in qualifying 2 hours time from now.
Charles Leclerc did set some pretty good times before he boxed, and you guys, do you not like my commentating? I'm sorry if I get a little bit hyped out there. I'm meaning to offend anybody. I'm used to hyping up some esports racing. I apologize, but we're hoping to bring you as much racing statistics as possible. Will you guys bring the racing statistics? That's pretty much it done for the session. Now the rain will continue. We'll have some fantastic casting coming up for you in the racing statistics in a few hours there for the qualifying session, so that you and me, Mr. Ferral, can sit back, relax, and have an ice cream of Kimi Räikkönen perhaps and watch the qualifying session.
Yeah, that's going to be about my plans I am having, as qualifying will be brought to you by Ryan then.
And tune in for that, Ryan. Great casting. Yeah, and we didn't get to. I'm really disappointed that we didn't get to see who was it. Who's our little favorite groundhog again? What's his name?
Gary.
Gary the groundhog. So Gary has not been out on track this evening, but I tell you, Gary the groundhog is holding up the Canadian GP flag there, smiling at it, and I have to smile at every one of you that have tuned in here this evening for that. And once again, the King of all Kings has donated another fantastic donation to the good cause here at Racing Statistics. So over to you, Ferral, mate, to wrap it up. And you guys, I know it's late in certain parts of the world, and if you can hang around for a couple more hours, you get to stick in for the qualifying session.
Yeah, well,
wet, dry, who knows?
What is there really to say to wrap it up, apart from it has been absolutely unexpected results with Fernando Alonso topping out the timesheets with a 1 minute 33.8, followed by the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly, and then the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel, rounding out the top three. And then, well, you can see it yourself. We have another Alpine up there. They are really looking strong within the rain, followed by both the McLarens. And important for Ricciardo, he is ahead of Norris, as he really needs that confidence boost to see if he will stay with McLaren or not. Then we have a Mercedes of George Russell in P7, and only then in P8 and P9 we will see the Red Bulls, but they are still leading the Ferrari team there, with Sainz in P10 and the two Alfa Romeo following that in P11 and 12. It is very unexpected how we see this, as the results have just been drawn from me. But apparently, Leclerc not being able to set a time, only setting about 2 laps out there, still being down in P20 then, with no time. That is very confusing to see. Apparently, I just got the information here that it is highly likely that we will see a partially wet qualifying then. So I guess we will see you all back in about 2 hours.
Absolutely.
And until then, yeah, always remember, doing one random good deed for a stranger would be a very nice thing to do and get the world a little bit better. And yeah, guess we will see you guys, or Ryan will see you guys for qualifying then. Goodbye.